Good morning, Sam here. This is not your usual happy, good, glorious morning post, although I am so grateful. But I promised you that I would share this entire journey with you, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Last night was probably one of the hardest nights of my life. I was so afraid. It stormed literally for hours, not just a little downpour, but severe storms. And I was on the phone at the risk of my phone dying with my spiritual mother, Judy Dinkle. So, Ma, if you're watching this morning, thank you for praying me through. At one point, I was 100% convinced I heard our food bag that we had hoisted about 50 feet in the air, and everything says that it has to be 75 feet. Well, there was no way in the world I was getting that bag up 75 feet. So I was nervous about it. I was nervous about our food bag attracting bears, even though it's in a very tight dry bag, and I've taken every precaution there to make sure the campsite was clean. And but at one point I was convinced that I heard that hit the ground, and it was pitch black dark, and I was just convinced that a bear had knocked it down, and the bear was on our campsite. And so I just started praying in ways that I may have never prayed before, because I was so afraid. Being out here in total darkness and away from everyone and everything is tough for anybody. But when your kid is with you, even though your kid is 21, there's that instinct to protect. And I felt so helpless to protect him. So all I could do was pray. And God is teaching me on this journey to trust Him in ways that I have never trusted Him before. Every study that you do on the Appalachian Trail says don't start it with less than $1,000 in your pocket. We started it with less than $100 in our pocket, and God has provided every single thing that we need. So we are not only trusting Him with daily provision and to direct our steps, because I already told y'all, get lost in the traffic circle, but for protection from wildlife, protection from the elements of being in the wilderness, protection from those who may be on the trail with us that have evil intent. And so I just wanted to share that with you this morning, and I wanted to share my devotion with you, because as soon as the sun came up, got my devotion, and it was so timely and so on point. And I could have turned on my headlamp inside my tent, but I was afraid. I was afraid to even just turn on the light. But this is my devotion that I brought with me. It is 365 Days of Prayer for Depression and Anxiety. It was a gift from my daughter, who has been so instrumental in this journey. We could not have physically gotten to the trail without her. She has given of her own in so many ways. And so, Ashlyn, if you're watching this video, I just want you to know that I love you so much, and I'm so grateful for you. But this is the devotion. June the 9th. Do not forget. It's out of Isaiah 51:13, if you want to read it. It says, you have forgotten that Yahweh, your maker, stretched out the skies and laid earth's firm foundation. But you live each day constantly worrying, living in fear of your angry oppressor who is bent on destruction. But their fury cannot touch you. And this is a prayer. God, sometimes I am not entirely convinced that you will keep me safe. When I feel defeated and overcome by failure or overwhelming circumstances outside of my control, I succumb to worry. I often forget to turn my heart immediately in trust to you. My defender and savior, your power has not diminished over time, and your heart of love has not changed. Maker of heaven and earth, you are my Father. Do not abandon me to destruction. In your faithful love, you protect and guide me. You are my deliverer. You will not feed me to the wolves or bears, or let me be overcome by those who seek to humiliate me. You are so much better than that. I am hidden in your love, and you will sustain me through every trying circumstance. Yahweh, you are all-powerful. Your love is the strongest force in the universe, and I am completely covered in it. I will take hope in you again today, turning my eyes to you every time I am overcome by the worries of life. You are above them all, and you are faithful to deliver. So, I am grateful for last night because I learned to trust God in a way that I never have. And so, wherever you are today, if you are struggling with worry for anything, daily provision or protection, or maybe there are people in your life who are seeking to humiliate you or destroy you in some way, lean on God. He is there. He will not forsake you, and He will not abandon you. We are going to pack up. We're supposed to get another line of storms later this afternoon. I'm praying and believing that it's going to go around us. We're going to pack up and make our way to the next shelter. So we've got about a 10-mile hike today. Keep us in your prayers. Yesterday was really painful physically. So just keep us in your prayers there. And my battery pack does not work. So I'm relying on the solar charger. So just keep us covered in prayer. I know that you will. And yeah, the raw and the ugly. Oh, one more thing. So you guys know the Cassie Bee. If you know anything about the Cassie Carly Foundation, and then you know the Cassie Bee story, and it's in the logo as well. When we arrived at camp yesterday, there was this bee that would not leave me. It was the loudest bee I've ever heard in the world. Like, it was just annoying. It was so loud. But it was like everywhere. It followed me everywhere. It stayed with me. And last night, when the storm was at its worst, it was thundering and lightning, and the trees were moving, and the wind was howling, and but that bee was outside my tent, buzzing around through the storm. It was still buzzing, and it was so much comfort to me. So anyway, I love you, and be kind to those around you today, and be a good cookie. And if you got any extra cookies, send them to me. I'm running low. See ya.